Welcome back, and we're here with Hewitt Husky head coach Josh Floyd. Coach, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on here.
Before we get into the game Friday night, I wanted to ask you a little bit about Alan Taylor and I are both big Auburn guys. So I wanted to ask you about your relationship with Gus Malzahn, the Auburn head coach, and what he means to you and how he shaped you as a person, not just a football coach.
Sure. I actually talked to Coach Malzahn today. I mean, we do have a great relationship, and it's obviously not – I don't talk to him every day or anything. I mean, both of us are pretty busy right now this time of year, so there's not a whole lot of time to chat. But we do try to keep in touch with each other. And, Coach Malzahn was a huge influence on my life. Obviously, the football side, I mean, he taught me a lot about the game. And I was fortunate to be his first QB that really started running the hurry-up, no-huddle system. And so that's obviously grown and progressed a lot over the years. Some of the things are not much different than we used to do back in the 90s, late 90s, but it's obviously grown over the years. So obviously the football side was a big part of me, but even off the field, I mean, just the kind of person that he is. He's a great Christian man, and just learned a lot from him about life. I mean, honestly, I was asking about something just today. It was pretty personal, just some advice,
Mm-hmm.
and I value what he says, and because I know he's been through a lot of things, and he's obviously the coach of one of the biggest programs in America now. So it's kind of interesting to see how that's all played out. But yeah, Coach means a lot to me, and I owe him a lot for what we've been able to do in our career.
So is he still the same from being a high school coach to a big college coach? Is the same guy?
He's pretty much the same guy to me. Oh yeah, I mean every time we get around, it's always the same story. So nothing changes.
Well, lost a tough game Friday night, kind of a heartbreaker against Montgomery Bell. Your thoughts on how your team fared Friday night?
Well, it was a heartbreaker. I hated it for our kids because we put so much time and effort, obviously, into this offseason, and these guys have really built up a lot for this football game. Give Montgomery Bell Academy credit. Very good football team, and I think you saw that Friday night. They've got some very good players physically, huge O-line, some really special talents on offense. But at the end of the day, they know how to win, and they're a very disciplined, well-coached football team. And I think that we just made too many mistakes, and it seemed like the mistakes we made were really, really big mistakes. And we played really, really well in some areas. I thought our defense played really well. To contain that running back, and he still had some yards, I know, but you're not going to shut him down completely. I thought we did really well. I thought our D-line played well. Offensively, I mean, if stats obviously don't win or lose games, but they do kind of tell how the game went. And the stats that we had were kind of crazy on offense because we're rushing around 300 yards, and I think Zack completed 70-something% of his passes, and that seems like a recipe for 30, 40 points. So they did a good job defensively. NBA did of just stifling when we got inside the 20 and 30. They did a great job there. We had a couple of special teams mishaps, and that all that stuff together ended up costing us the game. So at the end of the day, I think we had a chance. We're driving down the field. We're at the we caught a pass about the 16, 17-yard line. We had about 45 seconds left and a chance to beat, a Tennessee state champion that's, nationally ranked. And so, all those bad things considered, we had a chance there at the end. And we just didn't quite get it done, but I think we'll learn a lot from this game.
You mentioned Zack Thomas and his progress as a passer. How do you feel about his progress after the Montgomery Bell game?
Sure. I think you got to see a little bit of what Zack's going to be about this year. We're just going to keep getting better and better at that throughout the season. There's nothing like live game reps. But Zack was very accurate the other night, and I think he made some good reads. We called a lot more passes than show up on the stat sheet, and some of those just they either got pressured or wasn't quite open. So I think you also got to see him make plays with his feet. But I think people are used to seeing that. But he did a great job in the passing game, and he's worked so hard on that. It's never been a matter of arm strength or anything like that. Zack can make every throw that we need him to make. He can make the 15-yard comeback deep out. He can throw. He can throw the deep ball. He can do everything. It's just a matter of him and the receivers getting on the same page and all those kind of things. And so we've come a long way in that area, and we're still have a way to go and keep building on that.
Jerry and Street also had a very good night running the football. How do you feel about how your offensive line played to block for him?
I think our offensive line had a good night. There were definitely some things that we've got to do better on. Once again, we saw a lot of mistakes that we made, and we were able to we've already gone over the game tape with the kids, and so I think we'll learn from that. Jarian had a big game, over 100 yards again, and you saw the kind of talent that Jarian is. He's just a big tough kid. He's a load to bring down, and so he played really well. I felt like, and we want to try to give him the ball more in the pass game. We didn't do that as well as I would have liked to the other night, but our offensive line, the three interior guys, our center and two guards. I mean, that was the first time they'd ever played on Friday Night Football, and going against a pretty stinking good football team on the other side. So wasn't just those guys. There's a lot of guys in our. Even though we do have some experience coming back, there was also there's half the guys on both sides of the ball really that was their first Friday night competition. So. Offense and defense. And so I think it was great to throw those guys in the fire, and I think they responded well. One thing I'd say is, and I told our team this the other day, we responded to adversity very well Friday night, and that wasn't the case last year. I remember last year, first game against Gardendale, I mean, every time something happened, we just went crazy on the sideline. I was just like, man, what is going on here? And and I think over the course of the year we got better at it, but really that was one thing, because we made some bad mistakes Friday night, but instead of it steamrolling, we bounced back. We had a little, hey, we suck it up and let's move on to the next play. And I think that's a credit to our team and our senior leadership and those guys.
Very good. You mentioned your defense. Anything you'd like to see them improve on from week 1 to week 2?
Well, we obviously gave up some big plays, and that that really hurt us on that side of the ball. And so I think they did drive the ball on us some, but overall I felt like we contained a running back that's really, really good, and an offensive line that was 280 pounds across the board. And so we just have to be better with our eyes. There were some, we failed for some play action fakes, and unfortunately they got a few guys loose and got some guys open. And so even our secondary, I mean, that's 4 new starters back there right now, and those guys played well. It just there's those few plays on that we obviously like to have back, but that's something I think we'll improve on throughout the year. But I think you saw a front seven too that does have some experience, and it has a chance to be pretty good this year.
And you travel to Gardendale this week, a team that went deep into the 6A playoffs last year, a lot of returning starters. Your thoughts on Gardendale? Yeah,
Gardendale's a really good football team. I think they've got a chance to do something really special again this year. They went to I believe the quarterfinals of 6A last year, and I watched them as the year went on. I think they were similar to us last year. They just got better and better and better throughout the season, and they ended up making a pretty deep run. They returned their quarterback from last year. Running back's coming back. I think he had 800 or 900 yards last year. They have some linemen back. Have some big linemen there. Defensively, I think they're going to be really good again. They have some really, really good linebackers that played for them last year. A couple guys on the D-line that are back, and so you're talking about a pretty experienced group with Gardendale, and so I know they're going to be ready to play. We've got to move on, learn from this, and try to go beat Gardendale now. And that's another thing I told the kids: we can't lose twice. You lose once, and let's bounce back. And so I know our guys will be ready.
Very good. That game's at 7 o'clock up in Gardendale. When we return, we'll have the Players of the Week. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, man.